vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records. It is Monday, which means it's time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. So this week, I had last week for the most part off. I worked 2 days and then had the rest of the week off. It is what we call MEA break here in Minnesota. It's an education break that takes place in the fall. Always, I think, the third week of October. And what we do is the kids get it off, the teachers get it off for workshops if they want to attend them, or they just get it off. And typically we'll go on a vacation, but unfortunately due to circumstances this year, that was kind of nixed. So instead, we just hung out, watched movies, had a good time, and I did go record shopping. So I've got quite a large stack here to show you guys today. Really excited about it. And it combines both my record trip to the store. It combines Amazon's very Prime Day special. They had a week-long Prime special of buy 2 albums, get 1 free. Took advantage of that. And I got some other stuff that came in, and we'll start there. Let's start with the Facebook Live sales. This one, we'll start here. This is Roger McGuinn's solo album, Peace on You. I think it's his first solo album. It might be a second. I can't recall exactly. But Roger McGuinn is, of course, from the Byrds. And I love the Byrds. So I saw this pop up and thought, why not take a chance? I'll go ahead and pick this up. It's really good. Really enjoyed it a lot. So Roger McGuinn, Peace on You is the first one. The second one from that vinyl live sale is Foreigner Records. These are kind of cool little compilations that are put out once in a while. I think I had like a Byrds one. I think I've seen an REL Speedwagon one. And, you know, this for the most part is really cool. It's got all the big hits on here. The only thing on this that I didn't really care for is the fact that Hot Blooded is a live version, and not a very good live version at that. I'd have much preferred to have the studio Hot Blooded on here to get it a real greatest hits type feel. I just don't understand why bands need to put out greatest hits and throw live cuts on there. You know, it's great, live things are cool, but if I'm buying greatest hits, I want the hits. I don't want different versions of the hits. So that's really my only complaint on this one, but overall, a fun record to listen to. And the coup de grace from that live sale is this one here. This is Bonnie Raitt's Nick of Time album. Not very easy to find on vinyl. Of course, easier than Luck of the Draw, but still not easy to find. But happy to have found this. It's a great album and fits great in my Bonnie Raitt collection. Was sorely missing, so happy to have it finally. And it's in just really, really good shape, so pretty awesome. All right, a pre-order that came in from Amazon is this here. This is Kacey Musgraves' Christmas show. So she did a Christmas show last year during the holiday season. I think it aired on NBC, but don't hold me to that. It might have aired somewhere else. But anyway, this is the album from that show. So it's all the stuff that came on the show. It's kind of like the soundtrack of the show. And I love Kacey Musgraves, so I had to pick this up. I can't wait to listen to it when the holiday season comes. It's on this really cool white vinyl, so really looking forward to spinning this. Kacey Musgraves, The Christmas Show, just came out. Another one. So I'm not sure if this was a Prime Day deal or what it was, but this album typically retails for around $35. And yeah, I was waiting for it to drop, and it did drop. This dropped down to $21. I had to pick it up. It's the new Dixie Chicks album, or as they're called now, the Chicks. It's Gaslighter. Really, really cool. I listened to it via streaming, so I was just waiting and waiting for something to happen where it dropped in price, and it did, and I picked it up, so really happy about it. This one does say the Dixie Chicks on it. If I remember correctly, a lot of them had replaced the cover with one that just said the Chicks instead, but so this is kind of cool to have the original name of the band on there as well. And let's see, I don't know if this one's a color. I don't think so. Nope, just a standard black vinyl. Looking forward to spinning that. We've always been fans of the Dixie Chicks as far as the music goes, and so looking forward to listening to this one with the wife. All right, so as I mentioned, Amazon had the buy 2 get 1 free sale going on, and it lasted almost all week, and I almost pulled the trigger on another buy, but I spent enough money the first time. Let me show you what I got. So it's pretty cool. First up is this one here. This is the new album from Kip Moore. Kip Moore is a newer country artist. Came out around the 2011-2012 time frame. and I've been a fan since. My cousin was a huge fan of Kip Moore and introduced me to him when we were doing a band together. So really enjoy Kip Moore. Looking forward to spinning this. I enjoyed his last album, Slow Heart. Looking forward to seeing what this one brings. So that was my first pickup in the buy two, get one free. Up next, Norah Jones, Daybreak. Love Norah Jones stuff. One of the few contemporary jazz artists that I can really get into so far is her. And so happy to pick this up. I have two of her albums currently on vinyl. And so this one I decided to go with as my third one. So, yeah. Up next is the newer album from the band Revolution Saints. Great band, made up of several different artists from different bands here. I can't remember exactly where they all come from. I know one of them is the Dead Daisies, though. Their first album is fantastic, and I've heard nothing but good things about this album, so I'm looking forward to spinning this. This is a hard rock album, and just excited about that. I picked up Bob Dylan, Bring It All Back Home. So haven't had this one in my collection, and this one and Highway 61 are the ones I'm really trying to get, and so I chose this one because it was in stock. And part of the buy two, get one free deal, so happy to finally have this in my collection. I was happy to see this was part of the deal as well. This is Soundgarden, and this one is Down on the Upside. I'm missing this one and King Animal, I think it is, from their collection. So happy to have this now finally as well. Super excited to listen to that one. And lastly, I was kind of pumped when I saw this. So I know this was a video game back in the day, but it was also a novel in the Star Wars series, and I really enjoyed the novel when I read it. And so when I saw this in there, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. So I have no idea what to expect, but this is Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. It's the soundtrack to the video game that they made. Like I said, am more familiar with the book version, so super excited to add this to my Star Wars vinyl collection and give that a spin. All right, let's talk about my trip to the record store. I hit both my favorite spots here in town, and we'll start with my trip to Down in the Valley in Golden Valley, Minnesota. This one I see posted a lot. I've never heard the band before, so I gave it a chance. This was in the dollar bin, and it's in really great shape. So I picked it up and listened to it, and it's really cool, good blues rock. Really enjoyed it a lot. So Humble Pie, Smokin'. From what I've been told, Peter Frampton used to be in the band, and this is the first album without him. So yeah, I do see this a lot posted in vinyl message boards and Facebook boards and all that stuff. So I thought, why not give it a try? Really good. Found this there. How cool is that? Fast Times at Ridgebound High, just a really, really good soundtrack. I actually have never seen the movie. I don't know why. I just have never seen the movie. It's right in my, my time frame. I should have seen it by now, but I haven't. But this is a killer soundtrack, and I saw this in the used section, and it's in just absolutely great shape. So I had to pick it up and bring it home. Glad I did. And the last piece from Down in the Valley, I picked this one up. This is my wife's favorite television show, and she has got my oldest son watching it now. He's binge watching everything from the series and enjoying it quite a bit. So I had to pick this up. This is the Friends soundtrack. It is an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. It's on super cool pink vinyl. I think they released two different colors of this, but you've of course got the Rembrandts. You got Hootie and the Blowfish, Toad the Red Sprocket, Katie Lane, Lou Reed, Bare Naked Ladies, Paul Westerberg, REM, The Pretenders, Joni Mitchell. I mean, how can you go wrong? It's just a fantastic, just packed with great songs on here. So Friends soundtrack, pick that one up. All right, the next stop I made was to Mill City Sound and picked up 4 albums from there. I've been looking for this one for a while, and they have it every once in a while in stock. I just never picked it up, so I finally decided to grab it this week. And this is Tony Iommi's solo project that the record company forced him to put under the title Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi. So Iommi didn't want this to be a Black Sabbath album because it's not really Black Sabbath type music. It's much more rock and blues music than hard rock, Sabbath-y type stuff. And he formed this album with Glenn Hughes, which people will know from Deep Purple days, and really just wanted to put out kind of a solo project while Black Sabbath was kind of in limbo. At the time, Dio had left, and also Ian Gillan had left the band. They didn't have a singer lined up to be part of Black Sabbath. The future of Sabbath was kind of up in the air, and so Tony Iommi decided it was a good time to write and record his solo album. Well, when he gave it to the record company said it has to come out as a Black Sabbath album, which is bizarre because, if I'm not mistaken, the only people on here that are part of Black Sabbath are Tony Iommi and Jeff Nichols, who is the mostly uncredited, well, I wouldn't say uncredited, but not really a member of the band, keyboard player that they've used for years. And still, they used him forever, from Ozzy days all the way up through Tony Martin days, back to Ozzy days. Nichols was always the keyboard player for Black Sabbath, but never an official member of the band, which is interesting. Everyone else on here, I don't think, was part of Black Sabbath history, other than if you want to count this as a Black Sabbath album. You got Eric Singer from Kiss on drums. You got Glenn Hughes, of course, on vocals. And bass was done by Dave Spitz. So none of those are Black Sabbath members, and yet the record company forced him to use Black Sabbath. Geezer Butler wasn't on here. Bill Ward wasn't on here. All the different drummers that they had, none of them were on here. So this was a one-off. It was supposed to be a solo project, and unfortunately was forced to be a Black Sabbath album. A really good album, not a Black Sabbath album, but a really good album nonetheless. I also found this one here. This is the Rocktober reissue of John Prine's Prine. Greatest hits type album from the 70s. Really good stuff on here. Classic John Prine stuff on here. Fun listen, great press, sounds awesome. Really enjoyed picking this one up. I also picked up this. Now, when I first bought this album on CD, when it first came out, I believe in 2003, if I'm not mistaken, I listened to it the first time and I literally threw it in the trash. I absolutely hated this album. It was awful. And but I want to have all the Metallica studio albums in my catalog, and this is the one I'm missing, right? This one and Garage Inc., which is a remake of Garage Days with extra songs on it, are the only two I'm missing from my catalog. So I picked it up. It's one of those things I've been waiting to see if it'll go on a clearance type price. It never has. Amazon hasn't had it in stock forever, and so I got it from my local record store, and just to fill it out. I put it on and listened to it, and my God, there's some good tunes on here, but the production on here is so bad. The guitars are thin. Lars's drum sound is awful, and it's just hard to listen to. Obviously, I'm keeping this one now. I'm not going to throw this one in the trash like I did the first time, but I don't know if this will really get played very much ever again, but it's here now, and I have it in the collection. For those who don't know, Saint Anger by Metallica. Last but certainly not least, you're digging through the bins. The hunt is the best part of being a vinyl record collector. The hunt for those albums that you want so bad and are just so hard to find. And that's where this album comes in. And I was digging through the new arrivals bin, and every once in a while I see some stuff that's there that I really like, but I don't pick it up because either the price is too much, or I feel like I can find it at a better deal somewhere else. And once in a blue moon, I find something I really like. So I'm flipping through the bins, and you might laugh at me for this, but I was a huge fan of these guys when I was in grade school, middle school. And we would sing their songs all the time. I've shared their stuff before. I've shared the story before. But this is the one album that I just couldn't find of theirs. And I've been looking and looking and looking, and it just never seems to be there. And all of a sudden, I'm flipping through, and there it is. And first thought was, this is just going to be the single, because that's the luck I have. And I pulled it out and looked, and sure enough, it's the full album. This is New Kids on the Block, Step by Step. Like I said, I've got Hangin' Tough, I've got the self-titled, I've got the Christmas album, and I've got the single for Dirty Dog, which is from the album that comes after this that nobody ever listened to. And I just didn't have this. And I really, really wanted to have this to complete that collection, because those 4 albums, self-titled, Hanging Tough, Christmas album, and this one here, Step by Step, are my childhood. Myself, my brother, and my cousin, both of which are no longer here, would literally sit in front of the TV with the video, either the Step by Step video or the Hangin' Tough video, and we would sit there and we would sing our asses off to the songs. We were all big fans of this group. And so when I saw this, I almost squealed with joy because I had finally found a copy of this. Now, this one has a little bit of an issue here with a bend in the cover. Otherwise, this thing is in great shape. And so I'm so pumped to finally have this in my collection. This was the win of the week for me. Strange as that may sound from a guy who loves metal and all that kind of stuff, but this was my youth right here, and so excited to have it on vinyl finally in my collection. So there you have it. That is my large stack of albums that I picked up this last week. Spent a lot more than I thought I would, especially with Record Store Day coming up this coming weekend. The good news is I only have 2 albums on my list for Record Store Day, so I should get out fairly cheap. And one of them, who knows if it's going to be there? We just don't know. That Skid Row album is in high demand, and I've already heard rumors that stores are not getting copies from the distributors. That's how in high demand it is. So I just got to cross my fingers and hope that my store got them and they'll have them in stock when I get there. I will be there early to try and get them. But yes, spent a little more this week than I thought I was going to, but happy with what I picked up. Very happy. So there you go. That is it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this look at vinyl editions from this past week. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Love interacting with you guys in the vinyl community. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Love to have you along for the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, for Record Store Day Drop 3, keep spinning vinyl, friends.